opinion on eating dark chocolate, looking at over 70% cocoa. She's pretty much eating it every day, and she's stage 3B to 4. Her labs are fine so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we've talked about kind of seasonally too, because chocolate and desserts, they kind of come and go throughout the different seasons, the different holidays. But yes, chocolate, we used to, and myself included, as a renal dietitian, 10 years ago when I was working in dialysis clinics, I used to tell people to watch out and limit and cut back or cut out chocolate because of the phosphorus. That was the primary concern. However, what we know now is that the phosphorus that's in chocolate, if it's organically, if it's naturally in the chocolate, meaning it's not an ingredient added to the candy, then that kind of phosphorus isn't very highly absorbed. So it's even though if you, let's say you saw milligrams of phosphorus on a chocolate bar, which there's not a really good chance you're going to see that because phosphorus right now isn't required to be on a nutrition label. But let's say you did, and it said, 200 milligrams of phosphorus for this chocolate bar. You're actually probably only going to absorb about 100 milligrams or so of that. You're only going to absorb about half of it because the phosphorus organically, naturally found in plants, is not broken down by our bodies. We do not have the digestive enzymes to break down and absorb that phosphorus. So that's what we know now, which is why, and I'll kind of spread this out across some different areas, whole grains, which I just had to tell somebody else on social media today. No, whole grains are okay. The phosphorus, this is outdated. Whole grains are okay. Nuts, seeds, beans, these we used to think were all problems because of the phosphorus. But again, it's not well absorbed, so it's going to be okay to have in moderation. Like it's everyone's least favorite word is moderation, but truly, think about having more variety in your diet. So having some chocolate, you're not having 100% chocolate diet. If you're going to have a piece of chocolate, enjoy it and move on. It's not going to make or break anything. And then also the other caveat too is these any kind of dietary restriction with kidney disease is going to stem from lab results. So, understanding your kidney labs, looking at your phosphorus level. If you haven't had your phosphorus level checked, which is not a common thing at stage 3, your doctors might not be checking phosphorus until like stage 4 or stage 5, but you can ask them. You can let them know, like, hey, I'm kind of concerned about my phosphorus. I'm paying attention to my diet. I just want to see what my phosphorus levels are. Getting it checked once or twice a year. It doesn't need to be very often. But that's a good way to kind of get an idea too of how your body, how your kidneys are managing the phosphorus that you're currently eating. Because if it's in range, I'm definitely not going to be worrying about an ounce of dark chocolate here and there because your body is proving that it's managing what you're doing.
And I'm so glad you touched on the phosphorus here because that's another part of watching labels. That's one of the things I look for in the ingredients. I call it the sneaky snake, PHOS. If I see a lot of PHOS, which is usually those phosphorus additives, which we do absorb, if I
Mm.
see like 3 or more of them on there, it's 100% no, skipping that item.